I'm Ellen Stellian, the Midlife Empowerment Coach, and today I am thrilled to introduce Diane Garrison. Diane, Dr. Diane Garrison, is an inspired leader, compassionate teacher, and dedicated healer, a licensed psychologist with over 30 years of clinical experience and a certified feminine power coach and life mastery consultant. She is on a mission to teach people how to truly flourish in their lives. Diane says, after years of assisting clients to move from dysfunction to stability, I am now passionate about helping my clients move from functional to fabulous, learning how to live a life of purpose and passion. Her personal journey with health challenges led her beyond traditional medicine and psychology to the world of holistic health, spirituality, and energy work. As she studied spiritual and alternative health practices, she has incorporated this knowledge into her professional practices with stunningly positive results. Diane, welcome. I'm just so looking forward to talking to you today. So to start with, I am always fascinated by psychotherapists who kind of veer off into coaching, sometimes simultaneously, and you wear two hats and, you know, one hat at different times, sometimes an entire shift. So tell us a little bit more about what informed that shift for you.
Well, you know, right now I'm wearing two hats, and I don't know that I'll ever give up psychotherapy altogether, but I just felt, as I've been called more to be more holistic, more spiritual in my own self-care, that I want to share this with more women. And I feel that the coaching process is more amenable to that kind of approach than the traditional psychotherapy. People come into psychotherapy because they're, you know, in tremendous pain and they want less pain. And I really am very jazzed now by people who are functional, they're doing fine, but they really want to become their best self. So it's kind of a change of focus. And as my interests have changed, and, you know, I've done the other stuff for 30 years. So now I'm like, now I want to do what I really love. And this is what jazzes me, to help midlife women move from functional to feeling fabulous, to really being able to own themselves in a positive way and to feel very connected to their passion and purpose.
Wow. So it sounds like, is that a pretty easy transition to you to have a psychotherapy appointment and then a coaching appointment? I mean, do you really literally feel like you've got to kind of get in a different zone?
Well, honestly, I'm doing much more of the coaching approach with my therapy clients. You know, it's more transformational psychotherapy than traditional psychotherapy. So if they don't want to take a spiritual approach, if they don't want to learn meditation, if they don't want to go deep, they, you know, typically aren't going to be working with me. So
okay, so you've really found a way to sort of maximize and use both, you know, areas to really transform the lives of your clients.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the desire, the dream is to go beyond people just in my geographical area, to be able to outreach to women in a larger area, and thus, you know, going from just a brick and mortar business to more of, you know, developing this online virtual platform.
Yeah, and I think with COVID, that's opened such a huge avenue for so many people who were geographically bound before, and kind of with the power of Zoom and the inability to meet in person, it's kind of like, oh, maybe this works okay, you know, remotely.
Yeah, it does. It still can be really powerful. I think it takes a little while to get used to it, and you know, I think it still can be incredibly powerful.
Wonderful. So today your topic is self-compassion, and you know, we hear so much about self-compassion. It feels like it's been one of the buzzwords the last few years. You got to have more self-compassion. What is that really about? Like, and why do you think it's become such an important, you know, kind of buzzword lately, and kind of an important practice?
Well, you know, as women, we usually have that, you know, superpower of compassion for others. We have been raised in a culture for, I don't know, 5,000 years of patriarchy to believe that our job is to take care of others. So we know how to read other people and be compassionate to them. But we also live in a culture that tells us that feelings are weaknesses. So most of us don't know how to pay attention to our own feelings.
Yeah.
And don't know how to sense into, okay, your feelings expressed first in your body and then you label them. But if you tune into them in your body, you can be offering compassion to yourself right away. And the sooner you connect with those emotions, get the message, whatever it is, the more that you then can return to your wisdom brain and make a decision, is there anything to do here or not? And I think a lot of times we cut off the emotion and go straight into problem solving, but we are still full of the emotion and it's still affecting us. And so we're not, reacting in the optimal way.
This resonates so much with me because I am one of these people who kind of stuffed my emotions for years and years
Sure.
and years. And every so often they'd come out it was nearly too much, and they would just come out in a very unhealthy way.
Intense, right?
Intense and, angry and sad. And it was like I was just too full up and it had to get out. And I'm just now in my 50s learning how to feel my feelings in my body. I'm actually doing some somatic therapeutic work.
Oh, cool.
Which is very cool, because literally I feel like I have been so out of touch with where my feelings reside in my body, and how to recognize that the body is the first place where you're going to feel something, rather than what I'm used to hanging on to and
going into the head.
My head. Right. And so I love the idea of allowing ourselves to become more aware of our feelings, like from the body on up, as opposed to, I think I'm sad now. And it just is in a detached way. And I'm learning how to express them as I'm getting closer and closer, not always in the moment, but sooner rather than, that's a practice for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I had to learn this process myself because, I was the consummate kind of perfectionist professional, taking care of business, taking care of my kids, and not taking care of me. And it was a burnout, like me second guessing every area of my life that really, it was a God thing, I call it. Like, I got this invitation to a free seminar for feminine power. And then I got a box set of CDs on self-compassion.
Oh my God. Remember those days when we get CDs? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, ancient time, right back. It was 2014, 2015. And it just set me on a journey of discovery, right? So first it was like, who am I? What are my feminine superpowers? And how do I pay attention to what's happening in here? Because, as a perfectionist, it's all up here, right? Cut off their emotions. They kind of get in the way and go up here. But then all these physical problems start, manifesting. And it's because the energy is still in our bodies, even if you're not dealing with it. And then it makes you sick. Makes you depressed, anxious, headaches, inflammation problems, you name it, it happens. And I'm like, wow, this is incredibly powerful. And if it's powerful me, it's going to be powerful for every woman I work with. And so then it became this journey of getting trained in these things so that I could offer it, and get better at it myself, right?
Yeah.
You really learn by teaching and learn how to teach women how to do this, because I don't think I've ever had a woman come into my office who knew how to connect to her emotions in her body.
Wow. So I'm not alone in this.
You are not alone. It is like the thing, right? It's because we live in a culture that tells us feelings are weaknesses. What are the sayings? Like, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in that saddle, right? That's not like, pick yourself up, take time, breathe, and connect to your emotions before you stand up, because then you'll be able to stand up straight. We don't do it that way. And so we have all these cultures, and we also have a culture that tells us that if we focus too much on ourselves, we're selfish. And that is like the biggest fear of women, to be called self-centered or selfish.
Yeah.
And of course, it's rather ridiculous, because, if you don't know who you are, if you aren't taking care of you, you can't possibly share your gifts, your love in the world fully. So, but it's these old cultural messages.
Yeah.
And, I'm all about busting up all the old cultural messages.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I also have learned that when you kind of don't express, don't allow yourself to feel feelings, and the feelings we avoid are the negative feelings, right? At the same time, you end up also not allowing yourself to feel the positive feelings, right? So you're like
Right.
really kind of flattening out all feeling, not just the avoiding the bad stuff, but you're also not taking advantage, not enjoying the good feelings.
Exactly. So you are right on target. That's
Yeah.
so true.
That was a big learning for me, and another motivation for, oh, I want all of it. Like I want to have the full range of feelings, and I'm allowed to, and I should be encouraged to feel the whole range of feelings, and not just, to live in this very narrow band of what's acceptable to society and the patriarchy and everyone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really love that you studied, you part of your bio is a feminine power coach. So, I mean, that's like actually something you studied, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely, with Dr. Claire Zammit. And this is about unlocking your 3 power centers. And the first power center is about relationship with self. And it's both about learning how to connect to yourself in a positive way, and also learning how to identify those stuck patterns. And then, because you've already developed this more loving relationship with yourself, there's this incredibly powerful process of connecting from your wise self to your vulnerable self, that you can share with this stuck place the deeper truth of who you really are and who you've become, and really shift out of all these stuck neurotic patterns. We all have tons of neurotic patterns, right? We, because of the way our nervous system and our levels of consciousness work, we can't help but have, these old neurotic glitches, so to speak. But they get in our way, right? They get in our way of becoming our best self, of fulfilling our dreams. And so it's really powerful to be able to transform those. And then the second power center is about deepening your connection to your own inner guidance system, right? So it's a spiritual program, in that it's like, okay, so we are connected to the infinite, and it lives within us. And if we know how to connect to that, we are connected to the divine. We're connected to the energy and intelligence of life. And it's learning to trust that wisdom within. We've all had intuitive hits, right? And when we disregard our intuition and instead do what our ego tells us to do, it usually turns out badly. But what if you had the confidence to tune into your own inner wisdom easily? Then you just, decisions become easier. Directions where you take your life becomes easier. Everything becomes easier. And you also feel you're not alone anymore. You're supported. There's this, this energy and intelligence of life that wants nothing more than for you to grow into your best. Just like it wants the acorn to become the oak tree, it wants you to become your best self.
Wow.
And then the third power center is learning how to ask for and receive support in a whole new healthy way. We are great as women at giving support, but somehow we often have this belief system that when we have problems, we're supposed to figure it out on our own. Or if I have a problem, I'm not worthy for asking for help and support. This kind of paradox we put ourselves in. And it's like, no, we need people. We need people who see us clearly for who we are right now and are fully supportive of us becoming our best self, right? And to learn how to ask for and receive help. And for me, who was kind of a lone wolf for most of my adult life, in terms of I got to figure it out on my own, it was like mind-blowing and life-changing to open up and allow myself to become vulnerable in front of other people and actually ask for and lovingly receive support. It was super transformative.
Yeah. Well, Madeline's joining us from Chicago. Hi, Madeline. And she has a question for you. She says,
Absolutely.
I'm very intuitive, but sometimes that gut feeling is just fear. How can I learn to tell the difference?
Because your intuition, the true intuition, your inner wisdom is always calm and peaceful. Right? Fear has a voice, and because of our very primitive nervous systems, it squawks a lot, right? And fear can appear in your gut as well as your intuition feels like it's coming from your gut. But your intuition, your wise woman, is always calm and peaceful, right? There's no hyper-verbosity. There's no, it's this feeling of connection and peace. And that's how you know when you're connected with the divine as well with the divine within you. It's calm and it's peaceful.
Wow, that really simplifies it, because I was looking at that question wondering, oh, I wonder how she's going to respond to that. And
I get that question a lot.
Really, that seems so simple. And Madeline says, good point. So yeah, I think that kind of really is going to help tell the difference, because it's just fear does not come calmly. So
it never comes calmly, right? And it rattles us, but the wisdom always comes calmly.
Yeah.
And it's more, a knowing than anything else, right? And so you feel it deeply.
Oh, and then Madeline now says, how do I tell the difference between that calm feeling and running away?
Madeline, you know the difference. Fear causes us to run away. Calm is, you don't want to run from peace. You want to embrace it and sit in it. And, right? If you're running away, or distracting yourself in some way, then you're turning away from that. And sometimes that inner wisdom is scary because, it gives us a knowing, and then we have to be true to it.
Yeah.
And that can be threatening. The status quo is always easier to follow than this, call for change or for depth or for taking a risk, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's easier, but it's it leaves us just feeling like crap. The staying in the comfortable, but just not not really authentic place.
Right. Absolutely. We can easily always go back to the status quo, and ego will, champion us. Yeah. Right. And our inner critic will say, yeah. Right. But, it's like you have this feeling of expansion when you listen to that inner voice and listen to the knowing and the direction and the wisdom that it gives it.
Well, Madeline says, oh my goodness, you must have known me in a past life. So she is resonating with everything you are saying. And I wanted to get back to self-compassion, because we could talk about so many things. But why do you feel like it's so important now for women to really spend some time and focus on self-compassion?
Because I think our road to power is in really owning ourselves and taking good care of ourselves. And to do that, we must learn how to be kind and gentle with ourselves, right? Life can be sticky. It provides challenges. And, when a friend or a loved one's upset, we're there with compassion, with the open ear, with the deep listening. But then when we are hurting, we try to brush it aside and just carry on. And it's about listening to yourself. Our feelings are just communications from us to us. They're not good. They're not bad. They're not right. They're not wrong. It's our own inner guidance system. And it's like, hey, pay attention. And if our loved ones deserve compassion, we deserve compassion. We know that compassion heals, right? It centers, it calms, it heals. And, professional women, especially, have all women, we develop really healthy inner critics. I call it our inner mean girl.
Mhm.
This voice that tells us instantly when we're off track or doing anything wrong or whatever. And we want to cultivate a voice that's an inner lover, right? That's
I
saying,
like
you're
that.
fine, you're calm, we're going to get through this. You're a badass, you can do this. And, you know, it's showing up for ourselves as our own best friend, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, I know you're so passionate about this topic that you actually wrote an ebook about it. And this is your offer to our audience today, as you're offering your free ebook to everybody. Tell us a little bit more about this ebook and how it's going to help somebody cultivate that self-compassion.
Absolutely. So, like, oh, I don't even know, maybe 4 years ago, I wrote a book chapter for a holistic compendium kind of book on self-compassion. And, you know, it was a little dry and a little clinical. And I just had an inspiration a few months ago. You know, I could create this topic is so important to me. And I teach it to every client who walks into my office or appears to me on screen, that I want to do something that is delightful to the eye, so it's full of beauty, and there's a guided meditation that people can connect to, and there's handouts they can print. I wanted to have something that was not just, oh yeah, that's cute, right? But something that was rich with information and with practices and with helping aids to really start. I've never had anybody who told me, oh yeah, the self-compassion, yeah, it doesn't work for me. Once they learn it, they like it, right? So I wanted to create something that was accessible and can help people start on that journey.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I love it. And I'm so grateful that you're making that available to everyone. And I will put the link to that to your website, as well as to that free ebook.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I want to spread it as far as I can.
Yeah, no, I know. And we only have a few minutes left, but I know you have kindly offered to give us a taste of a self-compassion exercise, and I would love to invite you to do that now.
All right. So, you know, the in-depth one, like if you're in a challenge, takes a long time. So we're just going to do a daily practice, something you can do for a few minutes every day. And it comes from the Buddhist tradition. And it's called loving kindness. Mm-hmm. And it's just something you can do and say for yourself every day. So I'm going to put on some nice floaty music. And I'm just going to take us through this for a few minutes and see, you know, how you feel. So let me get that started. Ooh. All right. So close your eyes and allow your focus and attention to come gently but firmly inward. Grounding into your body by feeling your feet against the floor, your seat in your chair, your back against the backrest or sitting very tall, and your hands wherever they rest. And just say hello to that body. Hello. Then bringing your attention to your breath, and start to notice the breath coming in, a receiving, and then on the exhale, a releasing. And allow yourself to breathe very deeply. Imagine you can breathe all the way into your hip space. And on the exhale, you can send that energy down your legs, out your feet, and deep into Mother Earth. So breathing in, using your whole body, and sending that energy through. And in and through. A few more really deep breaths, and in and through. And then letting your breath find its own new natural pace. And we're going to do the loving kindness meditation form, and I will say 4 short phrases out loud, and you repeat them in your mind. May I feel safe. May I feel peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. May I feel safe. May I feel peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept my life as it is. May I feel safe. May I feel peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. May I feel safe. May I feel peaceful. May I be kind and gentle to myself. May I accept myself and my life exactly as it is. Then just take a moment to notice, really notice the energy shifts within. Whatever you have cultivated inside. And know that you can recreate this anytime you want and need. By turning your focus inward and doing this simple mantra. And bringing your awareness back to your body, feel your feet, feel your seat, feel your back, feel your hands. And then take a really deep and cleansing breath in. Blow it all the way out. And open your eyes and return to the room.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Why? Thank you.
I love that. I don't know. I just feel very grounded right now. Very calm. And I have to say, the breathing is always so interesting when you start breathing deeply, how you realize for so much of the day, your breathing is so shallow.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, oh, the power of the breath is really fascinating to me. I really like the music too. That adds a lot to the, you know, but I've always much
It creates vibration.
Yeah. And I love guided meditations because it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the whole, you know, thoughts come to you, let them go or whatever, as opposed to here, there's something to focus on, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, well, the whole clearing your mind is really not the point of meditation, and it's not very possible, but having something lovely and positive to focus on is how we go in deep. And the music enhances because it creates a lovely vibration that makes our body vibrate in synchronicity with it. And then, you know, we can always calm ourselves by just slowing down our breath, taking a few deep breaths. It's powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to be carrying this, I'm hoping, into the rest of my day. So thank you for giving me that energy. I just feel very energized to do some deep work too now. Like I've got some projects I need to work on, some writing, and I feel like I'm kind of in a Zen place to be able to do that. So thank you.
Beautiful. And this is one of the exercises that is explained and explored in the ebook. So
Yay. So we will all have access to that in addition to this recording. So wonderful.
absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Diane, for joining us today and for sharing your wisdom and your, message about feminine empowerment and about the importance of self-compassion and taking us through such a beautiful exercise. So I'm going to put all of Diane's information in our comments. I hope everybody will avail themselves of those links and certainly of the free ebook and check out Diane's website. And I want to thank Madeline for joining us too. Madeline says she just went through the exercise with us and said it was very calming and just what the doctor ordered. So she's very yeah. So anyway, well, thank you again.
Oh, thank you, Ellen, for having me here. And, it's just wonderful to be with another coach who is all about empowering midlife women. And, because there's a lot of us who need some help and empowerment and support.
Right. Yeah, who need that and inspiration. And thank you for inspiring us today to
you're very welcome.
To lean into ourselves for a change. So I so appreciate your message. And for all of you, if you enjoy these videos, please watch for more coming weekly. And until then, be well and stay safe, everybody.